Hey everybody, Colin Harper here along with Michael Kutch, and we've got a new face on the stream, one of our team members, Laura Wider. Sorry for the technical difficulties, we're a few minutes behind. Just a reminder, nothing we say should be taken as specific advice. As you can tell, I am not in my usual studio. I'm kind of stuck at home taking care of a sick baby and sick wife, but everybody else is fully up and running. So before we get rolling here, Mike, it's been it just seems like it's kind of bad news after bad news as far as things go in the market. What are you seeing out there? And then after we talk about the market a little bit, we're going to talk about kind of one of the hot topics in our industry, which is called trusted contacts. And Laura's going to shed a little bit of light on what that entails and what that means. So Mike, go ahead and get us up to speed on what we saw last week. And, at least we had a small rally yesterday off of some lows there. So what are you seeing out there?
Yeah, so the market continues their sell-off, which kind of started at the tail end of last week on the employment data. We did hit new intraday lows on Thursday following another higher than expected CPI report. The increase in prices was mainly attributed to the services related areas of CPI, particularly that rental component, which rose 0.8% for the month. So that's a very lagged metric. It lags housing home prices by 12 to 16 months or so. So we expect that to continue to rise in the coming months. And unfortunately, it makes up about 40% of the headline CPI. So that's going to keep CPI overall pretty elevated in the coming months. The one bright spot, if there really was any, core goods prices were pretty much flat on the month. So it's starting to shift more and more from goods to services. But after we got the initial 2% or so sell-off on the S&P Thursday morning after the report, for no real reason at all, we got such a substantial rebound off that, and the S&P actually finished up about 2.6% for the day. So huge intraday moves. It's hard to pinpoint a driver of why we rebounded. Most likely just extreme oversold conditions, short covering. I did hear a few commentaries about having such a high inflation report probably makes it a lot more likely that Republicans will win at least one of the areas of Congress. So what that would mean would be very little chance of tax increases over the next couple of years, which corporations would love and the market would love. This morning, we got the retail sales, came in flat for the month. It was lower than expectations and last month's 0.4% increase. They're still up 8.2% on a year-over-year basis. However, that's mainly attributed to higher prices. I'm sure you guys all feel it. You're going to the store, you're still spending more money, but on less goods. Some decliners in the report were gas sales, auto parts, and furniture. They were the biggest decliners on those retail sales numbers. Then we got the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey a couple hours ago. Came in slightly higher than expectations, so that's a good thing. However, some areas of concern are the 1 in 5 year inflation expectations rose. So that could potentially cause the Fed to keep on their aggressive rate hike, and more likely that'll lead them to making a policy mistake. They've talked about over the past 12 months or so, they really can't afford to let those longer term inflation expectations become unanchored. Key levels to point out on the S&P 500, continue to look at that 200-week moving average, which overall has held up pretty well on the weekly chart. That's right around 3,600. Just below that at 3,500, which is actually kind of the area that we hit intraday on Thursday. That marks the 50% retracement from the COVID lows. So from March of 2020 to January of this year, we've come back 50% of that gain. On the upside, the next resistance is around 3,800. Above that is 3,900, and then that downward sloping 200-day moving average at just shy of 4,200. So not many economic things on the horizon next week. It'll be more just watching what earnings come out as. The banks kicked off today, and it's been kind of mixed. But so we'll just have to see how some other industries start to report.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the market's tied to the health of U.S. companies, and I think inflation's been a pretty big drag on a lot of those recently. Mike, can you talk a little bit about just to educate our viewers a little bit about what CPI is and why we're looking at it and why it kind of becomes such a big number whenever we're looking at the health of the overall market and the economy?
Yeah, so basically CPI, core consumer price index, is just a basket of goods that economists look at to see whether prices are increasing or decreasing. So that's a lot of investors look at that, but the Fed always talks about the PCE deflator. That has less of a heavy weight on, like I mentioned, that rent component and owner's equivalent rent. So that's really what they're watching, but they kind of move pretty similarly. PCE is always a little bit lower than the CPI report. And then you have the headline CPI report, which includes food and energy, and then the core, which obviously excludes those two categories. So overall, it's still way, way too hot. The Fed would like the PCE deflator to come down to 2%, hopefully sooner rather than later.
And we've seen that with the aggressive rate hike schedule, and they're trying to get a hold on that. And hopefully that will provide some support there to really slow down inflation. But I think Mike, like you mentioned, there's not a lot of super positive things to look forward. I know historically, midterm election years tend to fare better kind of after those elections take place. So we'll see if we maybe get a little bit of support there, depending on what happens.
Yeah, and October also tends to be a bear market killer. So there have been, I think, 17 bear markets post World War II, and 12 of them have ended in the month of October.
Well, let's see if we can get another one. We might have to do we might need like a mascot or a rally dance, or kind of in baseball you get those rally caps. Oh, good, we have a mascot. That's perfect.
Oh, yeah, that should do it.
Harvey's gonna scare the bears away.
Yeah, he can be our little mascot for the bull market, huh?
Well, speaking of, kind of things on a more personal note and shifting away from the markets for a bit, Laura, do you want to dive in and talk about, what trusted contacts are and just some general tips for folks who are, thinking about just being prepared for whatever curveballs life may throw our way?
Absolutely. Thanks, Colin. So as we were talking about the trusted contact over the last couple of weeks, we wanted to let everyone know that, your beneficiaries cannot call us and get information. And even though your beneficiaries may be some of your most trusted family members and friends, we can't give them any information. So a trusted contact would be on file. So mainly if we can't get a hold of you, or if you can't get a hold of us for some reason, if you're in the hospital, we can reach out to this person and just kind of make sure everything's okay. Now, this trusted contact cannot make any changes on your account. We cannot tell them the account balances. It's more of just a check-in to make sure you're good to go, and someone that you trust that we can reach out to and contact if we need anything. But as I was kind of going over this trusted contact with Brian, I figured I'd make a little checklist. There's not too much going on here till Thanksgiving. So we have about a month and a half where we can really get some things done. So a couple of things on my checklist. Actually, I was speaking with Donnie, my fiance, and he added a couple of things to the checklist. So I want to see if you guys.
I'm afraid to figure out what Donnie added to that list.
I want to see if you guys can guess what items he added to the checklist. For those of you who don't know,
for this exercise.
For those of you who don't know, he's a firefighter for the city of Washington. So keep your ears open. So the first one are for our clients who are over or 72 and older. Your RMDs need to be taken by the end of the year. If you have not done so for your retirement accounts, please give us a call and we can tell you if you've taken your full RMDs. With that, RIA, traditional and Roth IRA contributions. You do have till tax day next year to contribute. However, you might want to start planning your contributions before the end of the year here. Buy your Halloween candy. Halloween is 2 weeks away.
That's Donnie. Is that one of Donnie's?
It is.
Yeah, I knew that was one of Donnie's.
It is. It's one of his. Tax loss harvesting. We've been doing this for a lot of our clients. We're capitalizing on the losses in their accounts, which can be carried forward. I think we spoke about it a couple weeks. If you think that's something that you're interested in, please give us a call. We can set up a call and chat a little bit more about it. Check your smoke detector battery or change your smoke detector battery. It's about that time of year.
That's Donnie too.
That's Donnie.
I'm 2 for 2 so far.
The next one is touching base with either us or your attorney, checking beneficiaries, make sure they're up to date. Also making sure that your wills and power of attorneys are up to date and in good order. You never know what's going to happen.
Just a quick little note about estate planning. You know, we work with a lot of folks who are in all different stages of that process, right? So from haven't started to partially done to completely finished. Mm-hmm. And I would say a couple of the most important things to remember there, don't get caught up in the alphabet soup of estate planning, right? There's a whole bunch of different 3 letters that mean a whole bunch of different things. At the end of the day, just decide who you want assets to transfer for and who you want to be in control of that. And either, us or some of your, your attorney can help you work through the details of that. And then in addition, and I'm sorry, my dog just started running around down the basement too. So I completely lost my train of thought today. But that's the one thing. Don't worry so much about the details. Worry about your goals and wishes, and the right partner can help you work through that. And if you don't have estate planning documents, make it a priority before the end of the year, right? We never want anything to happen without that. And then the last note on that is beneficiaries will always trump a will. So whoever you list as beneficiaries on any account, you can name a beneficiary, will always supersede any legal documents you have done. So just a quick note there too. Go ahead, Laura. I got to get Donnie's last one.
Those are all really good points. Thank you. And just to reiterate, your beneficiaries cannot call and, get any information. So thank you, Colin. So we did that. Let's see. Check your beneficiaries, trusted contact. Last one on the checklist. Change the filter in your furnace.
That's Donnie too.
Yeah. So
a little financial and a little practical advice as we kind of are creeping closer to that holiday season. I can't believe it. It's been so fast. And sorry if you hear my dog running around like a maniac behind me. But Mike, awesome market recap. I think we've got some stuff to look forward to. Those resistance levels, hopefully they hold up and things start to take a turn for the better. But here's the short story. If they don't, how much does it matter to you? And I think that's the question we help folks answer every day is it time to make a change? Have things gotten so bad where you're starting to lose sleep at night? Then we definitely need to have a conversation. If you don't have a trusted contact, we'll be doing a little campaign for our clients and our folks who we work with to make sure we've got somebody on file for you. And then just start thinking through some of those bigger topics as well, RMDs by the end of the year, make sure your beneficiaries are up to date. And we do that over the course of the year, but also now's a great time to do that as well. And then make sure you change those smoke alarm filters from Donnie. So I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Thanks for joining us on Friday Live, and stay safe, stay healthy. Looking forward to seeing you all next week. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.